My name is Victoria Keaton, and today I'll be presenting my TSLN final project portfolio with the questions provided. So for part one for my teaching activity, I chose a activity for the second grade, science for biology and ecology, and I taught about the life cycle of an apple tree. So in my activity, we watched a video on the sequence of the cycle, and then we discussed some important information with partners. Then we colored and numbered a wheel chart with the cycle on it, following the sequence of events on the chart. And some helpful feedback I received on the activity. I got a lot of really positive feedback, but I also received some helpful feedback that I should include more language resources for ELLs, such as like a bilingual dictionary or some type of website to help them understand more, or like a language version in their first language for some of the sequence of events of the life cycle. And then for how will I change or modify my activity going forward based on feedback I received? Going forward, I would include more pictures of the specific sequences and slideshow information about the cycle, as well as including some more resources on ELLs for the reference slides. For part two of my assessment activity, I chose fifth grade and I chose science, specifically biology and ecology. And then I would be giving a summative assessment in the form of a poster project. These will be assessing the students' understanding of the food web while also developing their English skills through descriptions and writing and images. I would split the students into groups of 3 and give each group a poster to complete. They will draw at least 6 organisms. 2 would be producers, 3 would be consumers, and 1 would be a decomposer. They will draw arrows showing the energy transfer between the organisms in the food web, and then they'll draw a short they will write a short 3 to 5 sentence description of the movement of energy through the web. For accommodations and modifications for English learners, I would include visual supports by providing them with word banks and pictures of consumers, producers, and decomposers related to the biome they chose. And then I would also use sentence framing to guide their descriptions of energy transfers. And then for providing feedback, I would provide feedback with written feedback on the poster and then also offer one-on-one counseling with the English learners. For part 3 for my plan for professional development, the 2 to 3 areas I selected were technology integration, student health and well-being, and then also differentiating instruction. And then for my activities to participate in helping me grow and develop in these areas, I chose to participate in on-site conferences and workshops and then working with mentor teacher. The reason I selected some of these areas, technology really gives students new methods of learning and it also increases their skills and experiences. Student health and well-being is really important to maintain and to ensure the healthy growth of students and of their learning. Obviously, they need to be healthy in order to learn properly. The health comes first. And then for differentiating instruction, I think it's important to ensure that different students get the different type of instruction they need. For part 4, my ESL classroom observation and reflection, the content that was covered during my ESL class I observed was reading. The types of things I noticed the ESL teacher doing to help ensure her learners were learning were concept checks, guiding questions, connections to real life, and comparisons. We did concept checks. We gave like thumbs up, thumbs down. We did a number system where 1 was, yes, I understand everything, and 4 was, I don't understand anything, and 2 and 3 were in between. Guiding questions, she asked a lot of like, why do you think this is this way? Or why do you think this is important to this organism? We were reading poems about different organisms. She asked some connections to real life. One of the students shared in the rattlesnake's poem that they'd seen a real rattlesnake and heard its rattle, and that their parents said it was dangerous, and then they talked about why. And then some comparisons. They were comparing genres, so they were comparing a nonfiction book they had read the previous day to the fiction poems they were reading the day after, and comparing some things in between the two of those. The types of linguistic support she used were sentence framing, visual supports, and translational technology. She used a lot of sentence framing, and she was asking the students questions at the end. Things like, I believe that this is this way because, and visual supports throughout the entire poem reading. They had pictures of the organisms up. They had pictures of, like when we learned about an Io moth, they had pictures of eyes on the wings. They had the rattles and the rattlesnakes. And then for translational technology, one of her students was newer in the back of class, so he had a tablet with translational technology on it that he could contribute to the discussions with. The types of things that I found helpful from my observation and that I see myself trying out in future with future students were the sentence framing, the visual supports, the connections to real life, and all of the comparisons.